it's Lucy with 12South Pilates and Personal Training, and today I'm going to share with you a full body workout. I've had a few requests for this, so I thought it was high time that I give you something that you can do that will hit all the muscles that you're looking to hit. So arms, legs, and lots of core. Of course, we'll get our spine stretched out too. So I hope you'll join me for this full body workout, and maybe you'll use this when you're unable to come to a class or traveling or don't have a whole lot of time. Great way to get all those muscles work. So let's go ahead and get coming down to the mat. And I'm going to start out working on my upper abs. So I'm going to do a half roll up. With every time I come up into a C curve, I'm going to exhale and pull my belly button in. And I'm going to inhale on the way down. So it's trying to pull that belly button to the floor, wrinkle up that shirt, squeezing my legs together so I can get a little work through those inner thighs. Everything presses towards the midline. And I'm going to do about 2 more of those. Here's 2. And 1. Now I'm going to roll myself all the way up. So I'll take a nice big inhale to prepare. And then exhale, scoop and roll myself all the way up. And I'll work through my lower abs. I'm going to scoop and roll halfway down, all the way back up. So I'm exhaling on that down, and I'm inhaling on the way back up. Really thinking about a rolling pin going through my core. I'm still squeezing those legs together. And I'll do about 3 more of those. Here's 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to take myself all the way down to the mat with control. I'm going to straighten those legs out, and I'm going to cross one hand over top of the other. And as I roll myself up, we're going to do the full roll up. We're going to add some legs in there. So I'm going to bring that left leg in. So it's going to look like this. And then I'll lay it back down with control. And I'm using that strong breath. I'm working through that core. I'm going to do 1 more on this side, and then I'll switch. Really feeling that core getting warmed up. And here we go, going to the right leg. And I've got about 3 more on the right leg. Two. And 1. Now my core has gotten a nice little warm up, so I'm going to take a little reprieve and work on my spine a little bit. I'm going to do some spine articulation. So I'm going to plant those feet about hip distance apart. I can just barely touch my heels with my fingertips. I'm going to lay those palms nice and flat, and I've got a little space underneath that lumbar side. If I put my hands on my hip bones and reach over towards my pubic bone, it's nice and level. That way I know my spine is starting off in a neutral position. And we're going to start with a small isolation where I'm going to tilt that pelvis and just lift up about 1 inch and lay it back down. I'm only using the muscles below my belly button to make that happen. So it's low abs and lumbar vertebrae that I'm trying to stretch out first. Couple more. This area is so important if you spend a lot of time sitting or driving. The lumbar area can get really tight and can need a little extra stretching. So here we go. Let's take it all the way up this time. I'm going to tilt that pelvis, and I'm going to lift up 1 vertebrae at a time to the point where my shoulders, my hips, and my knees draw a straight line. With an exhale, I'm going to roll down 1 vertebrae at a time, just trying to space out those vertebrae a little more. With control, that tailbone hits last. Inhale at the bottom, exhale all the way back up. Inhale at the top, exhale all the way back down. We'll do a few more of those. Just stretching out that spine. And we're still working through the core to make this happen. I've still got that belly button pulled in. I'm squeezing those glutes. Let's bring it up. We're going to stay up. We're going to hold and breathe. We're going to add on. We'll do a few things here. So keep breathing. Nice strong inhales and exhales. Think about pulling in that belly button, squeezing up through the glutes, evenly distributing the weight between those 2 feet and those 2 shoulder blades. And let's add on some glute crunches. So we're going to crunch those glutes up for a count of 10. It's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll yourself all the way back down. Nice job. We're going to throw in a little bit more work on that core. So bring those legs up to a tabletop position. Those knees are lined up properly with the hips. Fingertips are reaching the ceiling. I'm going to roll myself forward, and I'm going to do a set of hundreds. I'm just holding and breathing. Strong inhales and exhales. Every time I exhale, I'm thinking about pulling that belly button further in towards that spine and towards the mat. The legs are squeezed together. Fingertips are reaching long. I'm lifted through my head and shoulders. A few more breaths. And then I'm going to add some crunches in. So 10 little crunches forward. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull those knees into the chest and roll that down for a second. We're going to pick up a little work on our lower abs. So we're going to come up onto our forearms, and our chest is going to be nice and lifted. So we're not going to be slumping. We're going to lift our chest up nice and high. We're going to bring those legs up to a tabletop position to begin, and then we're going to bicycle those legs in and out. So you're using your low abs, you're keeping that belly button pulled in and stretching through those legs at the same time. Strong inhales and exhales, thinking about that breath, that's always important. Bicycle, bicycle, bicycle. Let's do 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, and 1. You can pull those knees in for a second. We're going to make this a little more challenging for the low abs, and we're going to straighten those legs out, and we're going to scissor. If you find that you struggle to keep that belly button pulled in, put a little bend back in those legs and go from there. It is much more important to have the core doing the right thing than it is to have those legs straight, because you can always work up to that, and that'll come over time. So scissor, 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 belly button's tucked in. 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, and 1. And you can pull those knees in and lay down on your back. We're going to pick up a little work on our upper abs. So we did lower abs. Now we'll switch gears to upper abs. So knees are going to be in tabletop. We're going to do a little crunching series. We're going to start by rolling forward. 10 little crunches. These should be familiar. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring those legs up to 90 degrees. Rolling up 10 little crunches. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop those legs down to a 45-degree angle. Coming up, 10 little crunches. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to 90. Coming up, 10 little crunches. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to tabletop, last set. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees into the chest. You should know where those upper abs are right about now. All right, let's pick up some work through our obliques. This is an important area to get those waist in order. And if you're a guy, to get that inverted triangle, you need to tone through that waist. So we're going to be in a turned out tabletop. The heels are squeezing together. Think about putting some pressure there. That's also going to work through those inner thighs. We're going to roll ourselves out to the left side. Your left arm is going to be trying to pull that rib cage as close to that hip as it can, as your right arm just floats. It's kind of like we're doing a sideways 100. We're going to keep that belly button pulled in, holding and breathing. Little sideways pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rolling it down, other side, hold and breathe. Thinking about pulling that rib cage towards that hip, keeping that belly button nice and tight, squeezing those heels together. Ten little sideways pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll that down, keeping those legs together. We're going to extend the legs out, drag them back in. Just working through the low abs again, and also through those inner thighs by keeping those heels connected and moving in and out of that turned out tabletop. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and lower those legs down. We're going to do a little work on those legs. We just got that started with some inner thighs. So we're going to carry on with leg work. So make sure you're in that neutral spine, little space underneath that lumbar area. Hip bones, pubic bones nice and level, belly button pulled in. Shoulders are open. Think about that because we want to keep our chest nice and expanded so we don't hunch forward. Good posture. Put those hands on those hips. We're going to hold those hips in place to make sure they don't go anywhere. We're using our low abs to stabilize that pelvis. but it's also good to have a little reminder by keeping those hands there. And we're going to take that right leg, bring it up, circle it around, just big circles. Only thing moving is that leg in the hip socket. And those circles can be as wide or narrow as you need them to be. You're working through those adductor and abductor muscles, making nice strong legs. Let's do one more in this direction, and then we'll reverse, and we'll go the other way. Circle it up and over. Try and be really steady with those circles, so you're not jerking any point, you're not stopping anywhere. It's nice and smooth and controlled, so you're using those muscles evenly. And of course, you're still using that strong breath. Last two. And last one. And lower that leg down. So we'll go to the other leg. We're starting at a hover. Cross it over the body, circle it around. You may notice you've got a different amount of flexibility or mobility on one side to the other. And that's something that you can work on when you're doing this single leg work, is trying to balance out and even out any asymmetry that you have in your body. Let's do two. And one. Reverse that direction. Circle it out, up and over. Again, trying to make those circles nice and perfect. Really trying to use those muscles that support the quads and support the hamstrings, and not just use the big muscles all the time. Here's two, and one. Lower that leg down. So we're going to come back to the leg we started with, should be your right leg, and we're going to point that toe, and we're going to lift that leg straight up, and then we're going to flex and lower it down. It's important here to keep that leg straight, even if that means it can't come up very high. What we're trying to do is get a stretch to the back of that leg. So we're trying to make it longer and leaner. And when you put a bend in that leg, you lose that benefit. And we're still using our low abs to keep everything else in place. And here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower that leg down. Going to the other side, you're going to point lift and flex lower. Nice and controlled. Line after line. Let's do 3, 2, and 1, and lower that leg down. We'll go back to the leg we started with. One last thing we're going to do here. We're going to point that toe. We're going to take it out to the side, drag it back to the center. So again, those hips don't go anywhere. We're working through inner and outer thighs. Nice and controlled. This is when you start to realize how much that leg actually weighs. You start to feel the pressure of the leg. But it's good. It's good work. So here we go. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop that leg back down. Other leg. Pointed toe. Take it up. Out to the side. Back to the center. Nice and controlled. This is a really good exercise to do if you run or you bike or you do other things that are very linear, because you may not be hitting this set of muscle groups in the leg, and they will definitely help support what you're trying to do with your linear motions and keep you from injuries. When one muscle group gets too strong, it can overcompensate. So let's do 3, 2, and 1, and lower that leg back down. We're going to pick up a little more work on core. I like to kind of intermix it through what we're doing. So we're going to do some work on our transverse abdominals, those deep muscles inside that core. So bring those legs up to tabletop. We're going to bring the fingers behind the head, and we're going to roll ourselves into our C curve, and we're going to slowly bicycle. Now I'm not bringing my elbow to my knee. I'm thinking more about twisting through my rib cage and bringing my shoulder over towards my hip. And I'm going deliberately slow to really make those muscles work the whole way. And I'm exhaling with each switch, thinking about tightening up those transverse abdominals, deep muscles, and then I will pick up the pace. Here we go, a little bit quicker. Finishing it off for 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, and pull those knees into your chest. We are going to come up onto our side, and we'll do a little bit of side plank and some side leg work. So we're going to do a low side plank today. So you're going to be on your forearm at a nice 90-degree angle. I'm going to bring my top leg and put it in front, and I'm going to lift up. So everything is in a nice straight line, including my head. People have a tendency to look down at their feet. Feet are not going anywhere, so keep that head in alignment with the rest of that spine. Hold and breathe. Belly button's pulled in. Lots of work through those obliques. And I'm just holding and breathing and hanging out here for a few more breaths. And I'm going to lower that down. We're going to do some hip dips. These are one of my favorites for really working through that oblique area. You're going to lift that hip up, drop it down, and lift it right back up. Nice and controlled. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. So stack those legs one on top of the other. I'm still lifting up through my side body. I'm not going to slump in. As long as I keep myself lifted and I keep that belly button pulled in, I'm getting work through the core even while we're working on the leg. So we're going to start with a point and a lift and a flex and a lower. And how high you lift is determined by what feels good for you. It's more important to be in control and be smooth with that motion. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stop that leg at a hover. We're going to point as we kick it forward, and we're going to flex as we drag it back. Now the key here is to keep the body from rocking. It's real easy to have that body sway, but a strong core is going to keep that body in place as we move that leg back and forth. And I'm trying to keep that big toe traveling in the same plane, so at no point does it get higher or lower away from the ground. And here we go for 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to glue those feet together. I'm going to lower myself the rest of the way down, and with an exhale I'm going to lift both legs, and an inhale I'm going to lower. It's really not important to be very high with that lift. It's more important to be in control. Height will come over time, so don't worry so much if you're not able to lift those legs up as high as I can. Or maybe you can lift them even higher. It's more about lifting with control. For 3, 2, and 1. Last thing we're going to do on this side, I'm going to cross my front leg over my top leg. I'm going to hold it in place, and I'm going to lift with my heel. So I'm squeezing through that inner thigh of the straight leg, lifting with control. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Let's go to the other side. So we're going to flip it over, and we'll start with that side plank. We always want to do the same work on both sides. So I'm going to put that top leg in front, my arms at that 90-degree angle, and I'm going to push up and I'm going to hold my side plank. Holding and breathing, keeping my head in alignment with that spine, keeping my belly button pulled in, a couple more breaths. And then we're going to do those dips. So remember, you're going to lift that hip up and you're going to lower it down with control. Working through that oblique area. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop yourself down. Stack those legs one on top of the other. Remember to continue to lift through that side body, pull in through that belly button. We're going to point lift and flex lower with that foot. Nice and controlled. And again, you might have a different flexibility from side to side, and that's okay. It's just something to be aware of and something to work on, trying to even everything out. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stop that leg at a hover. We're going to point, kick it forward, and we're going to flex, drag it back while keeping that body in place. Looking good. Here we go. About 4 more. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring those legs together. Lower yourself all the way down, and we're going to exhale as we lift both legs. Inhale as we lower. Trying to treat those legs like one unit and keeping them connected. 3, 2, and 1. Cross that top foot over, and we're going to lift through the heel. Make sure you don't roll forward on this one. It's important to keep those hips stacked one on top of the other to get to the right muscles. So squeeze that inner thigh as you lift through the heel. Thinking strong, toned legs here. I can already feel my legs getting stronger. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. It is time to get some arms in. So we're going to start off with a basic plank, a basic high plank. You're going to be on all four, on your toes and your hands. Those wrists are right underneath the shoulders, and your head's in alignment, and you're pulling up through that belly button as you push back through those heels. And we're just going to hold and breathe for a little bit here. This is good work for the core and also for the arms at the same time. But we're going to take this up a notch to make it a little more challenging for the arms. And we're going to go down to a low plank, and we're going to come right back up. So we're going to be going back and forth. Try not to change the alignment of your spine as you're lowering and lifting, so you're not sagging, you're not sticking your butt up in the air. Let's come up and hold again, hold and breathe. If you need to, you can do this on your knees. This can be done with those knees and the toes lifted. And now we're going to go down again. We're going to go down on the opposite arm. So here we go. Lots of strong arm work and core work. Nice double combo. Let's do 2 more. Last one. And let's hold that plank again. 3 breaths. And drop down to your knees. You can take a quick little child's pose and stretch that out. We're almost done, folks. We've done a lot of work on our legs. We've done some work on our arms. We've hit the core, but we're going to finish off with a few more pieces for the core that'll also hit our legs too. So come onto your back. Bring those legs up to a 90-degree angle, rolling into your C curve. We're going to shuffle those feet back and forth. Pretend like you're walking on your ceiling, just little shuffles. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Here's 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Bend and lower. And then we're going to take our legs out to a 45-degree angle. This will be more work on your lower abs. If you find that you have trouble with that, take them back up to 90. Again, the core is more important than where the leg position is. So here we go. Pointed toes. Shuffle, shuffle. 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Bend and lower. And rock yourself up. Nice work, everybody. That is your full body workout. You can always do more or less of the movements that I showed you. I tried to keep them somewhere in the middle, but you can always add on, maybe do 10, whereas we might have done 6. You might want to do 10 to make it a little longer if you like, or if you don't have a lot of time, maybe do 5 to shorten it up a little bit. But I think if you do that, you're going to get some good results for the full body. Thanks for watching. See you soon. It's Lucy with 12South Pilates and Personal Training.